So, the Senate in New York just passed a series of bills that are so absurd that a nail gun could potentially be considered a firearm and would be illegal to possess. There's a whole lot going on, including body armor bans, firearms licensing, other assault weapon bills, magazine bans, which I thought were already banned in New York, but whatever. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. We're also going to be talking about a potential protest that is seemingly being planned. We will see how that pans out in the future. But before we get going, though, I do want to say thank you to one of the sponsors of today's channel. Today's video. Sponsors of the channel, Premier Body Armor. Premier Body Armor makes an awesome variety of hard and soft body armor in ways that are very easy to integrate into your day-to-day life. They're running a sale right now on concealable backpack body armor panels that would actually be banned by this new bill in New York. But if you act now, maybe get ahead of that. If you live in any other state, it's just a great purchase. Slips in your backpack, super easy. You have protection against handgun-based threats like 9mm, 40, 45 ACP, and it's fairly affordable. Use the code. It's on a special sale right now. Check out Premier Body Armor. So let's talk about what's going on in New York. There's a whole lot. I'm going to give you the brief rundown. The thing about these bills is the way I've seen people describe New York's laws is kind of like a maze. A lot of various bills and laws outlaw certain things multiple times, but then sometimes there's issues with how it's written that gets around it. It's basically like it's made of loopholes, but also airtight at the same time. So let's say a guy gets caught with an 11 plus round magazine in New York. It seems as if what was happening was the judge or the DA would have to prove the date of manufacture was after a certain point for that magazine in order to get the charge to stick. So they're saying, hey, yeah, you definitely were in possession of that illegal magazine in New York. But because we have no idea when the mag was made, people were getting out of this sort of getting through a little loophole in the system. So they're once again banning 10-round mags, making it, regardless of when you came into possession of it, regardless of the manufacturer date, it's illegal. They also banned firearms and any other weapons. Now you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? Firearms? Well, a firearm or any other weapon, it seems as if it's being described in this bill as the main target being the others. So people that had a AR-15 without a stock, with a pistol brace, with an overall length of over 26 inches and a second vertical foregrip, making it not an AOW federally, but it made it a other firearm. We've had things like this in California. New Jersey and Connecticut, I believe, are probably also very familiar with this. Basically, this was a normal AR-15 that was pretty dang neat. And it seems as if people in New York were able to get these, and they said, whoa, 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 whoa. These crimes that recently happened, these big crimes that made national news that didn't use those types of firearms, we're going to ban those because of this thing that happened. These kinds of guns aren't being used in crimes. They're really not. But we should ban them. So, because of that, the way the wording is written is it seems some people are speculating fairly accurately that nail guns, flare launchers, simple tubes, just a tube of steel, because you can make a slam fire shotgun, would potentially be covered under these firearms restrictions. It's going as far as some people speculating that potentially stripped lowers would be of questionable legality of whether or not you're going to be able to buy them because they would just be a firearm and not a rifle, shotgun, or pistol. Speaking of rifles, there is also going to be, now all of these have not yet been signed by the governor, but they have been passed, and the governor has asked for these bills to be passed, so we're kind of assuming at this point. There's going to be a bill requiring a permit process and registration of long guns. So if you want to be able to go out and buy a rifle, whether it's a 10/22, whether it's a New York compliant AR-15, you're going to have to first apply for a permit, a license, then you can actually go out and do the process of actually buying it. Now, what about the people that already have pistol permits in New York? Doesn't matter. You're going to have to get a rifle permit as well. Now, some counties, some people have said to me, maybe it's not this way in every single county, but some people have reported that the process to get a pistol permit is upwards of 8-9 months. Now, when you add in rifles to that type of permitting process across the entire state, do you think it's going to get any faster? Does that seem like a reasonable amount of time for someone to have to wait to get a firearm? Let me know what you think. So, magazine ban, potentially banning others, including not just a other type AR-15, but also flare guns and nail guns. Then permits. They also passed MicroStamping. Now, for those of you that don't know what MicroStamping is a technology that, first of all, doesn't really exist in any practical sense. Now, MicroStamping, what they want this to do is when a handgun fires a round, it, boom, ejects that spent shell casing. They want on that spent shell casing to be a serial number or identifier mark that can be traced back to the person who originally purchased that handgun. Now, I don't know if they don't know this, but files exist, sandpaper exists, Dremels exist. Anything that's going to be able to put a tiny little pinprick mark, like this firing pin, maybe the slide when it closes on that, anything that's going to be physically capable of putting a tiny little mark on something is also going to be capable of just being sanded off. And we've already seen that criminals are totally cool with breaking the law and defacing a serial number, a federal crime. Do you think they're going to be like, ah, yes, my microstamped equipped firearm, I am definitely not going to file that off? No, of course they're just going to be doing that, so it's just going to be affecting real people. Now, the problem is, this bill seems as if it has an ambiguous point in time when it's going to go into effect. Either within 1 year of a department saying, yes, this is a viable technology that's available, or within 4 years of the law going into effect. It seems like whichever comes first. That, to me, seems unlikely that it will ever be a viable technology, seeing as California has had this technology a requirement for any new guns put on the handgun, any new semi-auto handguns put on the California handgun roster, and we have yet to see a single semi-auto handgun be put on the California handgun roster since that technology was required. Do you want to know why? Because microstamping is not feasible, no company wants to do it, it's expensive, and it's stupid. It's not going to stop crimes. It's almost like they want you to not have adequate means to protect yourself, even if you are able to get a permit to acquire a certain firearm. They want you to not be able to protect yourself with soft body armor vests, because it seems as if the possession of these vests is still going to be legal, but you're just not going to be able to buy one in New York State. But it's also not outlawing, from what I'm aware of, hard body armor. It's kind of confusing. What is it that they want? It's almost like they're grandstanding for political gain to make you less capable so that they can be in more control over you. It's kind of weird seeing how they want you so disarmed, so unable to not be shot unless you're a cop. Don't worry, cops are exempt from most of this stuff. Cops can still buy body armor. Totally fine. You as a private citizen, you're going to have to travel out of state and bring it back if you want it. And then at the same time, not requiring the cops and the government and the military from being restricted to these same things. That seems weird to me. Now, it seems as if some people are trying to put together a protest or a rally of some sort. I'm going to have links in the description down to that. Some people on Reddit seem to actually be organizing something. I obviously live over 3,000 miles away, and this is not my main job, so I'm not going to be able to make the trip over there to do that. I'm not going to be able to organize this, but it is something that I think is worthwhile bringing to your attention. So if you do live in New York, or if you know anyone that lives in New York, I'm going to have links down in the description so that maybe they can take action of some sort. Let me know what you guys think down below. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.